Hi, I'm Dom from Redrow and welcome to the latest episode of the New Homes podcast. You're joining us today from our brand new customer experience suite at our Midsummer Meadow development in Royal Leamington Spa. Today we're going to be talking all about the current mortgage and housing market, what you can do to put yourself in the best position to move, and the differences between buying new and second-hand homes. Joining us to talk about all that are two returning guests to the podcast. We've got James Holmear, who's Redrow's Group Sales Director.
Hi, Dom.
And Andy Mannion, who's a new build mortgage specialist.
Hi, Dom.
So, James, thinking about when you were last on the podcast, it was June last year. We did a special question and answer with some of our listeners and customers because it was an interesting time as our developments and the market was opening back up. Do you think, looking back at that time, you could have predicted what the market's like now?
I think it's been a quite incredible 18 months. We've seen a lot of customers really reassessing their life choices and moving out of urban areas, seeking that additional space, maybe a space to work from home as well.
And Andy, I guess as one of our preferred panel of new build mortgage specialists, that's meant you've had a pretty busy 12 to 18 months.
Yes, Dom, we've been exceptionally busy. Interest rates are at historically low levels. There's been lots of demand for mortgage products over the last 12 months, as James says, with people looking to either move to more rural, semi-rural locations, more space, etc. So it's been extremely busy over the last 12 months.
So you touched on mortgage rates there, Andy. What is the mortgage market like at the minute?
It's never been a better time to either review a mortgage or look at moving. They've never been as low as they are. Lots of competition out there, lots of lenders. They've all got plenty of money to lend. It's a great time to be having a look at potentially moving.
And the other thing I've been reading a lot about recently, Andy, and I'm sure our viewers and listeners have too, is the deposit unlock scheme. Do you want to maybe just talk a little bit about that?
The deposit unlock scheme is a 95% mortgage product that's been put together by house builders and lenders combined, which enables new purchasers of new homes to lend up to 95%. Mortgage availability over the last 12 months at 95% is a lot better than it has been over the last sort of 12 months. So it just enables customers to now borrow at 95%, less deposit required, just 5% deposit to buy your new home.
Right. So it's making moving more affordable for people, essentially, isn't it? And getting people into property and moving up. And then in terms of buying a new home versus buying a second-hand home, is there a difference when it comes to what mortgages you can get?
Lots of advantages of buying new properties over old properties. One of the biggest advantages is energy efficiency. Lots of lenders now are offering green mortgages or discounts on mortgage rates and incentives on mortgages for people who are purchasing energy rated A or B properties. So there are some big advantages. Lenders will generally lend customers more money on an energy efficient home because they have better affordability. You've not got to spend as much on gas, electric, etc. So lenders will allow you to borrow more. So combined with better affordability, better interest rates, there's lots of advantages of buying new properties.
So James, just picking up on what Andy was saying there about the green mortgages and the energy efficiency benefits of a new home, are you finding that with all the headlines about energy prices, it's something customers are talking to our sales teams about?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think if you were to go back 3 or 4 years and how the conversation changed with regards to EV and hybrid cars versus petrol and diesel cars, I feel like we're in a really similar situation now with new build homes versus second-hand homes. We're having customers having greater expectations and asking great questions around what energy efficiency benefits come with new homes as standard. And I feel like if you buy a Redrow home, there's so many things there that are really going to benefit our customers and fundamentally save the money.
And when talking about costs and moving home and new versus old, I guess one of the advantages of new is that you wouldn't charge a broker fee, would you, for arranging someone's mortgage?
Yeah, obviously we do lots of work with Redrow along with the other preferred panel of brokers. And based on that, we don't charge any broker fees to anyone looking at buying a Redrow home. So there's a big advantage there. If you were looking at resale properties, the chances are that most brokers would charge a fee for their services. So yeah, big saving.
And I guess the other costs involved with buying a second-hand home, James, you might you might get it, but equally you're spending 5-10 grand ripping out the heating system or, you know, the roof or something. And I guess that's where the guarantee comes in of a new build home, doesn't it?
Based on what your tastes and demands and your lifestyle are, you're more than likely going to maybe change the kitchen, and you're going to change the bathroom, maybe new flooring and redecorate. The great thing with buying a new build from Redrow is you can personalise your home entirely to your tastes prior to moving in, and then day one, the new home is there, ready and perfect, waiting for you exactly how you want it to be.
So that must obviously be quite a key part of that sort of customer journey with Redrow in terms of how that might compare from when you first come and see someone in the second-hand market to, you know, finding a house on the internet and booking a viewing. What is that journey like when you try and buy a home with Redrow?
Yeah, certainly. I mean, we expect all of our customers really want to get out and about and get a real feel for the communities that our homes are located in. So we have show homes and we have customer experience suites like the one we're sat in today, allowing our customers to really get a great feel for what Redrow are all about. If you reserve a home as well, we have our great dedicated sales team here to assist, but you can go through that process entirely online in your own time, complete all of that necessary paperwork. And then after that point, you can personalise your home. Again, it's just using our online portal, the My Redrow system, where you can add various things in again, such as your kitchen, your flooring, tiles, and many, many other things in there. And that will take you all the way through to the point you move in.
Yeah. And Andy, I'm scarred from buying my house of having to dig out 3 years worth of pay slips and stuff like that. Is that what I need to give you when it comes to, you know, finding out my affordability before, you know, buying a house?
Yeah, we always recommend that people have a chat to a mortgage specialist prior to even looking at any properties. We can generally help customers either on the telephone, via online systems that we now have access to that a lot of customers seem to prefer to use these days. We'd always recommend that you do check a number of things before you apply for a mortgage. So keep an eye on your credit report, make sure that everything on there is up to date, factual and correct. And we also recommend that you do have a number of documents ready for us to view as soon as possible in the process. 3 months bank statements, 3 months pay slips, and also be able to evidence where your deposit's coming from is quite key to most mortgage lenders. So evidencing where that money for your deposit is held.
And you were telling me before about the fact that you can actually do a really quick early availability check for customers.
Really straightforward. So it's either a 20-minute phone conversation to ask some questions and establish mortgage affordability and to make sure that your credit is okay. Alternatively, we do now have online tools that within 60 seconds, customers can actually get a feel for their affordability, which lenders are likely to accept them on a credit score basis, and whether the property you're looking at is affordable or not.
Okay. And do you have any specific advice for someone who might be self-employed?
Self-employed customers basically need to be able to evidence their earnings. So mortgage lenders would want to see evidence of earnings up front. Generally with self-employed, they will ask for a document called an SA 302 or audited accounts. So if you are self-employed, we recommend you getting that information together for us. Generally, most lenders would need at least a minimum of 12 months self-employed for us to be able to help you with a mortgage. And also it's probably good just to get your business bank statements together as well for us when we initially speak to them.
I was having a bit of a play before on the big screen where you can walk around the site. I guess people find stuff like that quite useful because for someone with little imagination like myself, you know, you can look out at a field, but actually that sort of brings it to life, doesn't it? And you can see even the topography of the site and exactly where your house is going to be.
Absolutely. I mean, all of our customer experience suites are sort of paper-free environments. And we have technology here to allow customers to really explore the new community that we're building. So I think every tool a customer needs to hopefully buy a Redrow home is available to them.
So I guess if we just talk a little bit now then about how do you get yourself into a good position to move. You're obviously talking, Andy, about what you're asking of people. What do you think are the key things, James, that people need to really think about before they come to site and know what they want?
Well, I think fundamentally, if you already own a home, you do need to be considering what process you're going to go through to sell that home to enable you to purchase a home from Redrow. Now that may mean that you can place it on the market. Ideally, to put you in the best position, you need to find a buyer for your home. Equally, if you come along to a Redrow development, we can assist you with selling your home with a great scheme called Help to Sell. And what that allows you to do is we can appoint estate agents to operate on your behalf and sell the home for you, and at the same time allow you to reserve a new home with Redrow.
Okay. And I guess it's a bit like the chicken and the egg. What comes first, the mortgage advisor or the sales team on site? Where should someone go first?
I think always come and speak to us at Redrow, because we've got that preferred panel like Andy and his colleagues, and so everything can happen really quickly. You have to have an idea of where you want to be and what you want to buy, and then Andy and his team can obviously assist you in terms of what you can afford to buy, what's available, and what products are available as well from a mortgage perspective.
And Andy, there'll be quite a few people in a position at the minute where maybe they've had a mortgage offer, but that is potentially going to lapse ahead of when they're actually going to move into their home after reserving. What's the situation at the minute? Should they be stressed, or actually are banks been pretty helpful with that?
Mortgage extensions on new build properties, the banks have been really, really helpful. They understand where things have been over the last 12 months. Majority of lenders, 6 months mortgage offer minimum with either a 3 or a 6 month extension, which will enable you to exchange contracts and then obviously see your property through being built to the completion. So most lenders really, really flexible now, and obviously we can advise further when we speak to customers and explain to them the best route for them to go down for the validity of the mortgage offer.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, I think all that's left to do really is say thanks to you guys for your time. If you want to learn more about buying and moving and keep up to date with all the latest new home inspiration, then head to redrow.co.uk. Our next podcast is all going to be about the hottest home tech this Christmas, so make sure you subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. See you next time.